Musashi Miyamoto versus Sea King Retsu. Now, the context. If you have been watching Baki, you know that everybody has been wanting a taste against this new opponent, Musashi Miyamoto. Everybody got their 30 seconds. Like, look, Baki got dropped. Robo got dropped.
Desert got dropped.
So he's already known as this armed monster who seems to even have our seasoned fighters sweating and admitting defeat before they even have a real match. Yeah, he had a nigga like Goki saying that his fighting style failed him before they even fought for real. Goki not trash either. Was able to baby Oliver around. Had him in the lowest limbo position, touching the floor and everything. Look, he actually couldn't believe it right here. And managed to defeat the legendary Doppo Orochi. Both of these dudes respected by Yujiro Hama. All of this basically shows his threat level, and then the feats and attributes he displays. Musashi's spine was reminiscent to large cats, like lions and tigers. Too thick to be human. You can see it here, it looks like a giant spider. He trained so rigorously that his skeleton changed and became denser over time. What really had me is when they said that his blood vessels and arteries were thicker than normal. Like, what? That's actually crazy. So that explains the durability. He was so tough to knock out. He would get hit dead on the chin, full power, and would just get up with these crazy eyes and either recover or counterattack. And knockouts were either rare or intentional because of his speed, comparable to Baki in speed. A Baki that has been acknowledged by Yujiro. Dodged, stopped Baki's fastest jab mid-attack, and deflected this one. And then his strength, he couldn't even use regular swords, cause with every swing he would break regular metal. So he got special swords made for him. A firm grip that not even Yujiro himself was able to break off. Then had a specific set of skills. The ability to read that half-second humans have before a thought appears, allowing him to predict what you're gonna throw out before you even know it. A master of a multitude of weapons, stated by Matombe bitch ass. I'm sorry, he been making my blood boil this whole entire season. But he states the vast array of weapons.
Swords, spears, bows, staffs, naginata, shuriken, ropes, horses. He's mastered them all.
And then that crazy offensive attack when he can cut you without his sword and make opponents manifest the pain of being cut. It's so potent that it had people screaming and having spasms of pain. When he spars against Goki is the best example. Blitz into the shoulder, a slice across the body that in his mind felt like this. Baki even feeling the effects after the fight. This is the monstrosity that is Musashi. Now Sea King Retsu, I don't gotta say much, just know his resolve and purpose for this fight. He wants to beat Musashi at his own game. The use of weapons. Everybody knows Retsu is a fair man. Weapons are allowed and all rules apply. And he wants to test his style that allows you to be as light as a feather and able to slip through not only regular attack, but sword attacks as well. All of these as an effective counter to Musashi. Beating him in hand-to-hand combat doesn't mean nothing. He's a swordsman. Beating him at his own game will hold so much weight. Retsu is a capable man who knows his life is on the line. Straight and simple. So with all of that being said, the gong rings and Retsu shows off his collection of throwing knives. Pete Musashi on guard already. Retsu launches, but the air is all a hit. We randomly learn Retsu is ambidextrous, and he beams 1, 2. Musashi catches the third. Retsu tries to throw a barrage of knives, but it's just MJ movements. Even catches him with his bare hands. And then he slices this one in half for no apparent reason. Just to look clean, I guess. Cause look at the eye. The nothingness in the eyes. Musashi sheathes the sword, and then they give us a close-up for no reason whatsoever. We did not need to see this. Retsu pops out the shirt and equips it as his new weapon and just starts swinging it everywhere. Now it might look childish at first, but he uses it to launch dirt at Musashi's face. A pretty unique play, but Musashi's reaction is the exact opposite of what you thought a normal person would do. This nigga stands there and takes dirt straight to the face without closing his eyes. Man, why would you? And not only that, remember this arena is notorious for having teeth and bones left in here from previous fights. They had the nerve to show the bones seeping into his eyes. Like, Musashi just shakes it off and smiles. We'll only use projectiles. It seems as if you're afraid to come any closer. Everybody should already know his passive skill of rage baiting, known for making opponents lose their cool, causing them to fight sloppily with a clouded mind. But Retsu is unlike the other warriors. Just mere cockiness and wordplay won't antagonize him, except for this season where Matombe Slime ball ass. I just came off the street ass nigga. I just woke up and threw anything on ass nigga. I just woke up and wore what was comfortable ass nigga. He was moving so disrespectful, bro. Even Retsu started to lose it. When do you ever see the intimidation aura around Retsu? Man, you lame as a... Retsu throws the shirt and it's easily sliced. But this metal weapon pops Musashi right in the forehead, making him bleed and give Retsu a knockdown. That shirt played as a cover for the 9-section whip. A deadly weapon that Retsu is proficient with and he holds very dear. Got an entire backstory. They hold weight, struggle, and meaning. Retsu swings but quickly dodged by Musashi. And I love this part when he analyzes Retsu's movements.
It's fast, but it's only the spearhead that's imperceptible. His arm movements, however, are smooth. I can track his pattern from there.
Musashi cracked his knuckles and Retsu full power swings. Weaves so slightly. Retsu spins, but look how Musashi stepped in. So Retsu stops and swings from the left, but it's barehanded caught. He tried the right side. Give me that. You know what? These look cool. Give me those. As Musashi examines the weapons, talking about how light they are, Retsu is actually trying to find an opening, but says there are none. He's completely on guard, even when distracted. Retsu tries to sneak a kick in, but it's just too late. He had to break dance and strike his pose, so the audience could forget that happened. Then Musashi literally tells him, let me show you
how to swing.
Not only did he disable his main weapon, but this was pure disrespect towards him, igniting more fire in Retsu, and even pissing off Master Kaku. And I love Retsu, but I was trying my best not to laugh, because the weapon sounded like pure glass when they dropped. Musashi takes it a step further, throwing Retsu his personal sword, was giving him a tutorial on how to use the sword, while walking up in his face. Musashi tries the left, Retsu blocks with the sword, smacks Musashi with the handle, then adds a combo, a straight to the stomach, add the chin, and then this mean powerful roundhouse kick to the face. The crowd goes crazy and all the fighters are surprised. Catching Musashi with this many hits was so impressive. Retsu gives Musashi another chance to get up. Then Retsu makes a vow to Musashi.
I am a master martial artist, and I will never let you approach me unarmed again.
The line's so hard the crowd cheers, and then Musashi declares his infamous statement.
Sea King Retsu, you are already defeated.
I thought this was such a cold statement until I heard the audience laughing at him, frying him even. They was even getting top tier jokes on him. That old ass saying, you need your eyes checked, he's still standing. Is he really still saying that? Sir, you are stuck in the 1500s. This is the 2000s. Can't tell me Baki not top tier comedy. But after that, Musashi just flings his sword and instant transmissions dead in Retsu's face. Told him,
I've approached you, and with no weapon, martial artist.
Goodness, that was too disrespectful, but it was just too clean. He genuinely wants to test his hand-to-hand combat skills against fighters like Retsu. Him and Retsu even had a little talk about who will win with no weapons. So I love how they implement Musashi trying to experiment with hand-to-hand combat. Retsu tries with the left, but is redirected. Musashi goes on the inside. But Retsu uses his ponytail to hit Musashi in the eyes. So smart, leaving Musashi open for this 180 full split kick it to the heavens. Straight to the chin, making Musashi drop, and Retsu tries with a follow-up. But Musashi snatched the metal leg, made an attack and lifted him with one arm while still dazed. I genuinely love when his eyes do this because he just looks so unpredictable. Retsu's like, I weigh over 200 pounds. How can this be? Tries a kick from that angle, but Musashi with a slight grip throws the kick off balance, and then he prepares to swing Retsu like his sword. Remember the point of this attack? He said it's to see if his opponent is stronger than the sword that he breaks. This crazy ass swing, look at the pressure, bashes Retsu's face against the ground, and he bounces into the air in this unconscious state, but even so, he still manages to twist his body mid-air, just so he lands on his feet, never having his back touch the floor. Retsu's will puts the fighters and the crowd in shock, confused if Retsu is knocked out or not. But Musashi comes in for a closer look and Retsu is gone. Almost couldn't tell if he was alive or not. Lifting his fist slowly out of sheer survival instincts. But Musashi's like, man, wake up. Flipped him on his back and Retsu wakes up from the shock. And not even 3 seconds, Musashi steps in and Retsu goes for the high kick. Retsu flips back into the stance. And then they get to it. Retsu rushes with the left, block, tries the right. Caught, tried to turn his hands into dust, and Musashi must have watched Dragon Ball, cause this is the exact same combo that Goku did to Vegeta. Retsu tried to kick, no. Used his grip to bring him in close and flip him over so quick that it crushed Retsu's elbow. Retsu with a swift recovery, but that elbow is done. He has to figure out a way around this. Then he notices Musashi picking up another sword, not his own this time. He's over here testing out these swords. While that's happening, Retsu switches up his stance and uses Bakis. This shocks everybody cause what advantage does this give Retsu? Will this help him in the fight or not? knots. Musashi finally finds a sword that can handle his strength. And in his words, this at least suits as a kitchen knife. He walks up to Retsu and amidst this murderous aura. But Retsu is just too excited. This is truly what he wanted. Musashi readies for a swing, and it's in a perfect 90-degree angle. Now from this angle, it seemed like the sword went directly through him. But a closer look, he didn't even try to slice through him all the way. Dead used his face as a knife holder, just had the sword resting on his face. Retsu takes this as disrespect. To him, this is like Musashi thinking that he's too weak to handle this. So Musashi continues to slash Retsu in half, but just like in his training, light as a feather. Executing the move he's been perfecting, Retsu spins up the sword and rotates into this unexpected heavy heel kick straight to Musashi's nose. That devastating kick was enough to put Musashi down for a second and had him twitching, malfunctioning. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I actually started to feel bad for a second. My mans. Retsu goes to end him, but he's taking a little too long for me. He was just staring at him for a second. Like, wrap it up, Retsu. You gotta end someone like this once they down. And then he goes for the killing blow. And then they saw Matome getting nervous, like, why are y'all showing this? I don't give a Mid the killing blow, all we see is bandages around Retsu's neck. And Musashi is choking his life away. Wraps up the hands, the legs, dusted his hands off, just to leave Retsu as one of those tied up rotisserie chickens. So Retsu cries out for Musashi to strike him down already. But Musashi interrupts.
Stop barking. The arrogance of the Sea King. You no longer have the freedom to choose when you're slain.
And after saying this to Retsu, got even more sad because he started to tear up and cry. Oh my gosh. But Musashi is still able to acknowledge Retsu's strength, saying that his arms and legs move about in the most curious ways. And he even shattered his nose. So after all of this, Musashi picks up his own sword and frees Retsu. But he even cut off the hair tie and Retsu loses the ponytail. And if y'all think he freed him because he was being nice, y'all were sadly mistaken. Because as soon as Retsu turns around, the sword is already up. Musashi preparing another slice. Retsu sees the attack coming in a slow motion fashion. Uses the feather technique. Tries the heavy leg attack again. Counters, cutting off the leg. Musashi learned from his previous mistake. Things are seeming bad right now because Retsu is basically missing his leg again. And then they slowly reveal he's been cut. And in this encounter, this was actually a win for Retsu because Musashi says that he meant to cut him in two, but Retsu dodged it slightly. To be able to glide off the sword of Musashi Miyamoto, even a little bit, is considered the biggest win. But after succeeding, Retsu tries again. Now, I know Retsu isn't stupid, so I'm not gonna fry him, but these fighters are too stubborn. They will get themselves maimed just to test out a new technique. Now, Retsu goes to risk it all in another attempt to dodge Musashi's slash. All you see is blood spewing and pouring from the cut, but Retsu was too determined and rushed Musashi. But Musashi with a quick draw. The sword going through Retsu's fist, but it stops. Now Musashi was surprised and impressed because Retsu's body was so tough that Musashi couldn't cut through his fist all the way. This gives Retsu a false sense of victory, thinking that he has Musashi trapped. Then he vanishes. Now all we see is Retsu falling over, but Musashi slipped under him to flip him in the air to prepare this deadly slice. And you can see the moment Retsu tries to execute the technique. Now it's much better if y'all hear the results yourself. If you've seen this already, you already know.
Shali, the feather. These thoughts raced through my mind. The white line was etched across my torso. My organs were slashed open. My spine was severed.
Next thing we see is Retsu's body with his guts spilled out and Musashi just walking away, emotionless. And this is one of the few times when the crowd was silent. No cheers or anything. This was more grim than victorious. Retsu as a beloved fighter, even from the original Baki series. And as a fighter, he's one of the top contenders. I got him right behind Baki as of right now. It was still unbelievable to see Retsu's corpse. And then we go to the nursing room and see all the fighters mourning Retsu's death. Even Tokugawa shedding tears. And as sad as this is, I gotta break down the score for y'all real quick. Fight connoisseur, remember that. So, Retsu got 7 hits in total. 1 with the 9-section chain, 2 heavy kicks to Musashi's face, and that devastating 4-hit combo after Musashi gave him the sword. Musashi has 4 in total. Of course, 2 sword slices. That 1 slam when he used him like a sword, and the grapple move he used to break his elbow. Notable accolades from Retsu, shattering Musashi's nose, and never falling for the rage bait. The accolades from Musashi, shattering the honor of a master martial artist, killing off one of the main beloved side characters, and of course, leaving here with Sea King Retsu's life. Let me know if y'all want me to do the rest of the series, because I definitely will. I love Baki that much. Love y'all and thank you.